The John Cena Classic event was just recently announced, and today I have gathered 8 dream matches that we could potentially see at the John Cena Classic. Now, basically, all we know for these matches is that they are going to be primarily NXT versus main roster and trying to show the future of the WWE. So the first match I have came up with is Obafemi versus Mason Rook. Just an absolute meat fest. I actually saw someone talk about this on Twitter and I was like, oh my god, this match would be absolutely incredible. 2 just big, meaty, beefy men that both have so much potential, especially Obafemi. I feel like these two could actually put on an absolute banger of a match. We saw Obafemi work with another big beast man one time, and that was Brock Lesnar, and it was incredible. And Mason Rook might have the most momentum out of anybody in NXT right now. He is white hot in NXT. Please give us this absolute heater of a match. This match would just be an absolutely awesome car crash of a match. I would love to see these two just destroy each other so much that it ends in like a no contest because they're both like dead. Not literally, but you get what I mean. The next match I came up with was Rhea Ripley versus Zarya. 2 very similar characters with 2 similar wrestling styles. Both strong, powerful, kind of like powerhouse style wrestling in the ring. Another similar to Obafemi and Mason Rook, just another power struggle between these two in the match. One getting what's the word I'm looking for? Getting the upper hand on the other, winning the power game going back and forth. Zarya also extremely hot right now after coming off that amazing feud with Sol Ruka. I do think obviously Rhea Ripley would end up winning this, as she should, but this could be a really big moment for Zarya and a big match in her career. And I feel like, just like with Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, they could put on an underrated heater. Like a heater that not a lot of people would see coming. And this could help set up Zarya as the next big woman of WWE. Big woman kind of sounds like I'm being offensive. That's not the way I mean it. I think you guys get what I mean, but am I saying she'll reach the likes of Rhea Ripley? Probably not, but you know, maybe. Shout out to my girlfriend for coming up with this match. This one is Sol Ruka versus Liv Morgan, which we already got a light taste of on Raw. The Raw after WrestleMania, I believe it was. And that taste of it we got was absolutely delicious. Tasted like a filet mignon. It was amazing. 2 phenomenal in-ring workers, especially Sol Ruka. And Sol Ruka is absolutely the future of women's wrestling, and Liv Morgan is obviously the now. This is just picture perfect. They'll already have a bit of chemistry together from working together once already, and the short promo that they had was really solid. And we didn't get a clean finish to that one match they had because it was interfered with by Zarya, allowing Liv Morgan to pick up the win and take advantage of it. So I would love to see a proper finish with this feud and, you know, get a clean winner to see who is really better. This match would be amazing. Again, thank you so much to my smoking hot girlfriend for coming up with this. The next match I came up with is Miles Bourne versus Randy Orton. I think WWE thinks very highly of Miles Bourne, and he obviously is constantly getting compared to Randy Orton just because of the similarities between them. Their faces are similar, their builds are very similar. They both have a tattoo in like the same spot. Like Randy has one like under his left pec, and so does Miles Bourne, and they both have tattoo sleeves, although Miles only has one. Just a lot of comparisons between these two happens all the time, and Miles Bourne is very similar to Randy in wrestling style in ring. I feel like, assuming Randy is still a heel at this point, it could be a really interesting narrative of Miles Bourne being like Randy Orton not liking that he's like impersonating him so much and trying to be like him, and he could say, "You're not as good as me," you know, stuff like that. I think this would be a lot of fun, assuming the match has like an actual build and storyline with promos. This would just be absolutely awesome, and I think would help Miles Bourne a lot to just say he was in the ring with a guy like Randy Orton. I think they might have already had a match on NXT one time. I'm not too sure. I'm not exactly sure, but still. Next, I have a match between Khali Armstrong, who was just recently called up from WWE Evolve, going up against former WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill. Khali Armstrong is kind of like the NXT Jade Cargill. Both of them are powerhouses. Both of them like super confident, like in their gimmicks. Just again, a lot of similarities between these two, just like with Randy Orton and Miles Bourne. From what I've seen on NXT, I don't watch Evolve, but what I've seen on NXT, Khali Armstrong is pretty damn good in the ring. And Jade has seemingly just gotten better and better in the ring, so I feel like these two could also put on an absolute heater. Just an absolute banger of a match. Very similar to a lot of the other matches on this, a power struggle between them, you know, who's stronger. Maybe Khali Armstrong could make a reference back to Rhea Ripley and say, "My muscles are for wrestling and yours are for aesthetics." I think that would be pretty funny, but this would just be a really, really good match, and I would love to see the power struggle between these two, in the sense that they're both really, really like overly confident, and seeing how that would play out between those two, and that could be the reason that they end up having the match. The next match that I would love to see is Elio LaFleur versus EK Prosper, formerly known as Eli Knight, yes, going up against Javon Evans in a triple threat match. This would be one of the best matches of the entire year. All three of these workers are absolutely phenomenal. And that's really the only reason that I want this match. Just because this would be an absolutely insane match with so many insane spots. Build up the chemistry between these three for a little bit, and then let them cook for like a good 15 minutes. And oh baby, it will be so damn good. It will melt your eyeballs out of their sockets. And speaking of melting your eyeballs out of your sockets, prepare for maybe the greatest match ever. Io Sky versus Kendall Gray. This match would just be insane. It genuinely has a chance to be up there with Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Kendall Gray is a diamond in the rough, coming out of Evolve. Like, they found an absolute gem with Kendall Gray. She is a phenomenal wrestler. Phenomenal. One of the best female wrestlers in the entire business. And honestly, one of just the best wrestlers, period. If you give these two ladies 15, 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, give them the whole show, honestly. This match would be the match of the year. And then Io Sky is, you know, Io Sky. I don't really have to say anything about that. Io Sky is quite literally the best professional wrestler in the entire world, of any gender, of any business. Please, this might be the one match that I want the most. Please give us this match. Like, I cannot stress to you enough how incredible this match would be, especially if you don't watch NXT and you haven't seen Kendall Gray. Just trust me, it would be insane. But yeah, that is all the matches that I came up with, and one that my girlfriend came up with, of course. Let me know if there was any matches you think could be really good that I didn't put on here. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and bye.